Do a lot of things well. They fly around to the football. They're extremely well coached. They have a demeanor. You can tell that they have a mentality on the defense. They fly around. They do a lot of good things. They're athletic in the back end. They're disruptive up front. They probably move and pressure more than anything we've seen up to date. It's going to be a challenge, but I think our guys have started off on the right foot today and yesterday were a great start. But we have to match that intensity and play to the standard at which we played at a few times throughout the Vanderbilt game more consistently.
The movement has just been an issue, period, for
Yep.
a while. So how do you address that? And is Eli still going to be the ones kind of calling things out? So
Yeah. Eli will be making the calls, and that'll be consistent throughout. And block and movement is the hardest thing to do in college football. It's the hardest thing to do up front, unless you just run one scheme and just block it and block it and block it. So we don't do that. We're a little bit more diverse in the run game at times. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge, and you get so much practice time to practice it. That's why we call it Terrible Tuesday and Wicked Wednesday, because we're giving them as much crap that we can throw at them as we possibly can. Maybe even a little bit overload. And, it's frustrating on Tuesday. It's a little bit more frustrating on Wednesday. But we're hoping that at the end of this thing that you're getting better at block and movement. So we're working at it. But, things happen fast.
Liam, Devin's first interception on Saturday, was that the wrong decision, or did he just need to get more on that throw?
Yeah, at that point, I probably forced the shot in there, a little bit, and they covered it well, right? They matched it really well. There wasn't anybody open, and what I said to him was just, hey, at that point, just help me. It's poor call, not a great situation. They matched it up pretty well. Hey, let's either throw that thing as a launch, out of bounds, or hey, maybe can we step up, find a little lane, get back to the line of scrimmage, and let's play 2nd and 10. Not the best situation for him to be in, right? Because they matched it all up. But at that point, I just said, hey, I just need you right there to help me a little bit there. Take care of the football. Don't make a bad play worse.
Kind of going off that, Devin talked about how he wants to take the layups a little more.
Yeah.
How do you kind of strike that balance? Because he has hit on a bunch of explosive plays.
Yeah, and I think he would probably be the one to tell you that that's probably not even been his game in years past, really. And that's not really, I guess, how we've probably designed the offense. We're not trying to constantly push the ball down the field. It just so happens that we have a little bit more this year. And I think the efficiency aspect of things, of just pitching, catching, keeping the ball in play, check downs, throwing it away, just doing some things that ultimately help take care of the football and give you a better chance on early downs to be a little bit more efficient. I think that's something we're all striving for, and I think he's frustrated because he keeps telling me, that this isn't who I've ever been, is somebody that's in, the completion percentage and things like that. He's always been maybe on the higher end and just peppering people with completion. So it's a fine line, but he's working at it.
Dane's first big wow moment was against Florida last year.
Mm-hmm.
He got back and kind of had one of those on Saturday. How do you think it helps his confidence before the competition cranks back up again?
Definitely. I think it started in practice last week. It started in practice last week with the amount of time that he and Devin spent, the receivers coaches, Coach Woody and Coach Verbois, working with the wideouts as much as they can with route detail, releases. We are going to get a ton of press this week. We're going to get a lot of hands-on, and this is going to be a huge challenge. But I do think it was nice to get some of those guys' confidence up, especially going into this, to this stretch here.
Obviously, every week's big. This is a big week. How are you guys feeling?
Good. I think, it started with the attitude on Monday in our team meeting, that Coach Stoops set the tone. And we came out, had a good Monday practice. I thought today was solid. There's some things we'll clean up, things we'll take out, and readjust. But I thought their tempo, their demeanor, the mentality out at practice today was for the most part the right one.
I know this is only the second SEC game, but from what you've seen so far, are defensive schemes and what people doing, is it different from what you saw 2 years ago? Are you seeing many new things, or is it all pretty much the same?
No, you're starting to see, some more themes, I think, in terms of, what Georgia was kind of doing 2 years ago with some of the, simulated pressures and edge pressures and playing cover 2 behind those pressures, trying to take away free access with some simulated pressures. I think that is definitely been an upkick over the last year or so with some of the simulated pressures and the coverage structures that they're playing behind some of those sims. Vandy did a lot of it, but we didn't get too much of it on Saturday, but we prepared for it. Florida also has some of those similar structures. So you're seeing some of those same trends that started in 21 a little bit become a little bit more consistent.
And with some of the holding spots, I'm wondering,
Yeah.
is any of that, or how much of that might be Devin's ability to move around in the pocket, to scramble, to change direction? Suddenly, a guy holds a good block and just plain holding.
Yeah, I mean, he did a great job, against Akron, breaking contain and getting out of the pocket and throwing a touchdown. And we got a hold when we had 3 guys blocking 1 person. So I think that's been a huge point of emphasis, though, since Saturday of our offense. Has been our Monday meeting with these players was every single position group just footwork. It all starts with your footwork, your technique, bending your knees, coming to a balance, hands inside. I mean, that's all over the tape, is this. And it's not just the O-line. It's at multiple different positions, but it starts in practice. It starts with how you practice and making a conscious effort, which I thought they did Monday, a little bit loose today. And we had the refs out here being strict on those guys and letting them know, hey, man, that's a flag. That's a flag. And we want them to be able to give us some of that feedback. I mean, Marcus Cox came up to me at one point and was like, tell these guys to throw the flag, because it is a point of emphasis that we are trying to get better at as a whole unit.
What does Florida do well to slow down the run game? And is there anybody on their tape that kind of jumps out at you that you have to account for?
Yeah, their D-line, I mean, they've got a rotation of guys up front. They want to play a ton of players. So they try to keep those guys fresh. Number 88, who's a Louisville transfer, is a really good player. 94 stands out. On the second level, 6 is one of the better linebackers we'll probably face, all season. He's a complete player, all-around player. In the back end, they've got a couple of young freshmen that are playing really well. And then the cornerback, number 3, is a really good player, talented as heck. So Coach Sean Spencer, the D-line coach at Florida, coached me in college. And, I know what type of guy he is and how he gets those guys going. They're well coached. They do a great job using their hands at the point of attack and shedding blocks. So this week truly is all about demeanor, mentality, fundamentals, and technique. As much as we can, if we lunge and put our heads down, we are going to whiff. And we won't win too many of those battles. So this is a huge week about fundamentals and technique. And as Nick asked us before, blocking movement is going to be a huge thing.
Steve said yesterday he has confidence in the people of Kentucky to pound some beers and get ready for Saturday. So do you have confidence in the crowd that they're going to be amped up, pound some beers?
Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, the Florida atmosphere was electric, right? I mean, that was one of the coolest games I've ever been a part of. To see Kroger rocking like that and the people, the catwalk. I mean, just the whole thing, the whole experience was electric, and fully anticipated being the same way. I know our players are excited. I know Florida will be ready to play, and I think hopefully it'll be a great SEC football game.
Did you watch the Rams last night? And is it hard watching the Rams now?
It's not hard. You feel for them. You want to help, and you see Matthew and those guys. I mean, but I watched the tape from the first 2 games and took some things. And how do you be able to take stuff that they're doing that still fits what we're doing? And I kind of felt for them a little bit with some of the penalties and going back, and then they had the touchdown call back, and some of the red zone issues as well. You just kind of feel for them. And hey, man, it happens at all levels. Football's football.
Liam, there was so much talk about that right tackle position going into the year. What have you seen from Jeremy? Has he exceeded your expectations at this point?
Definitely. I think competition brings out the best in a lot of people. And, he's doing a good job, you know, and I thought he had one of his better games, you know, as a Wildcat last week. Cortland's still doing a good job, you know, just being able to rotate there just helps keep guys fresh, and I think a fresh Flax is a good Flax, and it gives us an opportunity to still rotate, keep guys healthy, keep guys fresh, and keep the best players on the field as much as we can.
Yeah, that's actually my least favorite flavor.
What's the best flavor?
Orange.
Orange?
Yeah. Should I not say that since it's Gator Week?
No, it's just.
You don't like. What's yours?
Oh, I forgot about the Gatorade part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know what's
the
yours?
blue? The light blue. That's the best.
That's such like a generic.
Yeah,
flavor.
Yellow has become a thing, and like I hated it for a while,
yellow.
but now it's like as I get older, I'm like, ooh, that kind of hits.
What?
Yeah, every once in a while it hits.
What about orange? You don't think orange hits?
Orange is the most average.
You're out of your mind.
It is just
Can we agree on one thing though? Red is actually by far the worst flavor.
Yeah,
I hate red.
Red's not good.
Red makes me sick.
Purple, very good.
Purple is very good.
The red, bad.
The light purple is good. There's a dark purple that's not as good.
Right.
The light purple is good.
But most things that are red are bad.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I agree with that.
So you're playing the Gators, the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
They're going to be physical, right? Yeah. So is this one of those like, hell yeah, we're about to smash some skulls this week?
Yes, and you can already see that in practice. But the coaches are doing a tremendous job on emphasizing the physicality that we need to bring for this game. So this was a Tuesday practice. It was extremely physical, and my skull is throbbing. But I'm feeling great and ready to roll.
What you've been around for a lot of these games. Is that like a characteristic though of when Kentucky plays Florida? Like it's going to be a smash mouth football game.
Yeah, we have an interesting rivalry with Florida. So every time, you know, we get it to play them, we bring it in practice every time. You know, because I'm sure what they're telling them over there, you know, Kentucky's going to bring it, and that's kind of the standard here.
There was a couple plays where we saw some of that physicality last week. The one in particular, the little toss sweep. Does it feel like the offense when y'all are starting to get that, to develop that physical identity?
Yeah, and we're just going to continue to develop that and continue to show, you know, to show the standard here. You know, Kentucky's a very physical team.
Flax was bumbling, stumbling on that play too.
Yeah, Flax is moving, man. That's an absolute terrifying sight that I would hate to be on the other end of.
I know it's not like you all didn't run the ball outside at all with Chris, but it does seem like you're able to break a lot more big plays now. Is that scheme, or is that like, are you guys just in the zone out there tackling tight end?
I think it has something to do with the scheme, but also we've worked a lot more on combo blocks with tight end and tackles, a lot more than we did last year, especially, and the year prior with Coen. So I love it, man. I love the combos we're getting out there, and continue to get whoever out there in space.
How fired up are you for a sold-out game?
I'm fired, and I love how it's in the morning because I just take a cold shower, everything just flies by, out there ready to roll. So I hate staying in the hotel till 5 p.m. just like ready to go, man. So I'm pumped. That's noon. I'm pumped to just get rolling, show the Gators what Kentucky football is about, physicality, get the dub.
It sounds like their identity and swagger is really tied to the Florida defensive front. That's the way they want to play.
They got a good front.
So does that kind of bring out something in you guys this week?
I mean,
to rise to that kind of challenge?
Yeah, Florida's, I felt like, always had a good defense. This year their D-line is big and physical, but every time we play Florida, we're always going to bring the fire, bring the juice, and bring the physicality every practice. So I don't think we're really looking at it as much differently. We're looking at it as just like, we're about to play Florida. Everyone's fired up. Everyone's going to bring the juice.
Did you hear their coach made the comment? He was talking about guys he liked watching Kentucky films, the tight end that's been there forever. Right?
Yeah, Mayor actually brought that up earlier in the meeting. I was like, oh, I mean, he's got a point. I did hear about that I've been there forever. But, I mean, I view it as a good thing, But that's funny. That's funny.
How did it feel just to be back at center?
It felt good. I think it was something we just did to streamline communication and to just let Jagger play fast and be a communication to the other side of the line and just let everyone just play fast, play free, and play on the same page.
Was it that big of an adjustment? I know you all have kind of moved guys around in training camp, but was it even that big of a deal once the game started?
No, not really. I mean, just with having all of last spring, all of last fall camp, all of last season, I mean, that was probably 1,000+ reps at center. So it's just kind of muscle memory at that point. And once you snap the ball, you're just playing guard, honestly. It's not much different once you snap the ball, so it wasn't that big of an adjustment.
They are going to, Liam said Florida likes to move stuff around, so how much does that put on your plate, and what do you all have to do to block it?
It puts a lot on our plate, but, that's what you come here to play for. These are the types of games you come to Kentucky to play in. You get a top-ranked SEC team at home. Like, you couldn't ask for much more, and they're going to do a lot. SEC defenses are very talented. Florida's a very talented front. They bring a lot of different looks. They make you block it right, and they make you block it well. So it's just something we have to prepare for, all the different angles, the different possibilities, what plays we like versus what, and just making sure we're on the screws with it.
As a Kentucky kid who grew up living through the streak, and now you have a chance to win 3 in a row, what would that mean?
It means a lot, I mean, it's kind of grown into a really important game for us, and, every SEC East game, those divisional games are just so important, and it was great to start off on the right foot last week, and now we're looking to improve to 2-0.
Go ahead. Coach Duke said Monday to us that the interior blocking still needs to get better. Where do you see that needs improved on the interior of the offensive line?
Yeah, I'd say something, we're working on is just our fit and combinations. Like you said, moving me to center, I've never blocked with Dylan before, and I hadn't blocked with Jagger on my right side before. So, I mean, that was a little bit new. That was different, and that's something we're going to really harp on this week, is just having really tight fits in our combinations, understanding which backers they're going to, and just making sure we stay connected, play with good leverage, and just improve on getting movement off the point of attack.
Is that combination stuff, like getting to the second level, does a lot of that come back to just comfortability, knowing that you can kind of tag off, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to understand what the other guy's seeing and anticipate things, because like you said, Florida's going to move, and being able to trust where that guy's going to be, trust where Dylan's going to be, trust that Jagger sees the same thing I see, and that comes with some reps. So I'd say that was something that we needed a little bit of an adjustment period as the game went with Vandy, but I think with a whole week of practice under our belt, it's going to look improved this week. Yep.
I think your introduction to a lot of fans last year was at the Florida game.
Mm-hmm.
Did that change things for you at all as a player, knowing you could go up and make big catches like that in big games?
Yeah, I feel like it proved to myself that, I belong in this league and belong to be the one to go make those plays. And I feel like building from last year, I just know that I can go out there and make those plays.
There was a lot of chatter. Were you able to, I guess, overcome that once you scored that touchdown on Saturday? How did that
chatter in what way?
Oh, just a lot of people talking and wanting to see Dane Key make more big touchdowns like that. So did it feel any different?
No, I didn't feel no different. It just felt like I was just going out there and playing football like I do every week. No matter what anybody says, I just go out there and play football like Dane knows how to.
What have the last few weeks been like for you? I know you've been through a lot, off the field, on the field, with some of the stuff Nick was talking about. Did you block all of it out? How do you do it?
Yeah, I just just stick to who I am, stick with my family, stick with the people that have been there. If I feel like if you haven't been there from the jump of helping me be the person I am today, then whatever you say doesn't really affect me.
Coach Coen said you and Devin put in a lot of work last week building that chemistry. Could you tell a difference on Saturday because of that extra work?
Yeah, I feel like we made a lot of plays together, and it's just something to keep building on.
Now that you've got that first touchdown of the season, do you feel like you've kind of got that off your back and you can relax a little bit?
Yeah, I scored the week 1 too, so yeah, I feel like
you scored an SEC game now.
Yeah, I just feel like just scoring a touchdown doesn't really make who I am. I just feel like we're 4-0, so it doesn't really matter if I go score it. We're 4-0.
How big, being a Kentucky kid, you were around this game a lot. This game definitely means a lot to people who grew up watching Kentucky lose this game. So what would it mean to be able to get a win, and a third straight win in this series?
I'm undefeated against Florida, so I don't really pay attention to what it used to be. I'm on the team now, and there's a lot of other guys on this team now, so we're going out there with the mindset of we can play in this game, and it don't matter what happened in years past. It's 2023.
Dane, what can this offense be if you all put all the potential you've shown together for a full game out there?
I feel like this offense can be really explosive, and I feel like we've shown it. We haven't played a full game as an offense, but the defense has really gone out there. Max Harrison, he's went out there. He scored 2 touchdowns for us last week. So just building on that and playing a full game of offense will be really explosive.
I think Liam said that you guys have to be prepared for a physical approach
Mhm.
from their guys. How have you gone about in practice? Or do your defenders kind of try to get their hands on you? And
No, I just feel like we're going to take this week the same we will take any other week. Just go out there and prepare the right way with proper preparation, and that will help us on Saturday.
After what you did last year down there, do you feel like you'll get a little